doesn't matter. Everyone knows you go to the same school. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So, hi, Mr. Tristan. This has taken us a while to pull together. We're so sorry. We've had a lot of technology issues. Mr. Bigenho can vouch for us. You're right. He's not in here. Hi, Mr. Say hi to Mr. Bigenho. All right. Okay. He helped us a lot. We can thank him for the fact that we're being able to do this right now. Okay. So our philosopher, as I told you earlier, is Edmund Burke. And in our interview, we had him go to a bar. Or a pub, excuse me.
A pub, because he's an Irish philosopher.
Of course, although he was a member of the British Parliament. So, with that, let's begin.
Hello, Mr. Burke. May I get you anything to drink?
Whiskey, please.
You look troubled, sir. Tell me about your troubles.
Well, it's very stressful being a member of the British Parliament.
Has there anything new that you guys have been working on the Parliament?
Well, I must confess, I've spent a great deal of time dealing with the American colonies. I have a philosophy for them. In fact, I published a pamphlet named Observations of the Late State of Nation. It's about the controversy of the American colonies.
My, that sounds like some interesting work, Mr. Burke. Tell me more about your Parliament. Did you connect with any important people?
Well, let me begin with my work on the Constitution. I believe that the king should not have so much power. It's absolutely wrong. I think that political parties must exist in order for our society to prosper. It's dangerous for all of us to live under the unrestrained power of the king. The Whig Party and other political parties must rise.
So, regarding your work, do you do any other sort of work with other prominent individuals in Parliament?
Indeed. In fact, I work with Samuel Johnson, Joshua Reynolds, David Garrick, and Oliver Goldsmith. I have been very lucky to work with these intellectuals. Even though I'm actually an Irishman, I've spent a great deal of time working with the British people. I gained much of my educational training back in Ireland as well.
Well, it looks like you've had a pretty successful career. Very different than my bartending career.
I suppose. However, I did end up losing my seat in Parliament because I supported free trade with Ireland and also Catholic emancipation.
That's very, very unfortunate, Mr. Burke. I'm just wondering, kind of switching topics a little, but why were you initially in favor of the French Revolution?
Well, you see, Mr. Bartender, I was amazed while watching the French struggle for their freedom because I knew that there was some sort of paradox and mysticism in their fight. That special spirit is something that I could not help but to admire.
Okay, so I guess that makes sense, but then why all of a sudden did you become so opposed to the revolution?
Well, quite frankly, the Parisian ferociousness broke out in a way that took my surprise. The women marched on Versailles to try to convince King Louis to return to Paris. That was the last straw for me. I couldn't sit and bear to see King Louis convinced by women. They were in no place to do that, and the elements which make up a society are now disintegrating and slowly dissolving, and monsters are taking over what used to be monarchs.
Oh, wow. I mean, that is very intense of you to say. So, can you speak to me a little about your debate with Dr. Richard Price? I heard it was very, very interesting.
Yes, of course I'll talk about the debate. Everything Richard said was preposterous. He said that there are universal rights of men, and that men should see themselves as citizens of the world as a whole, instead of a member of a specific community. I can tell you that this debate was definitely one for the books. It was blatantly obvious that were two fundamentally different philosophies being debated, and clearly mine was right. Price kept saying that inherent human rights allow people to choose their own government and blame the government whenever something was done was wrong. But he is in fact completely incorrect.
Fair enough. I guess I understand where you're coming from. And it is a very interesting dilemma that we deal with pretty regularly. Can you talk to me a little about the success of your pamphlet called Reflections?
Of course. Now, I mean, quite frankly, despite the fact that it was priced at 5 shillings higher, it went through 10 printings and sold over 17,000 copies. It was easily one of the world's most prominent pamphlets to date, even got translated to different languages such as French. I wanted to publish something that would completely contradict everything that Price was saying and adequately state my own opinions, and I think that I did just that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burke. It's closing time soon, but just as my last question, I was just wondering about the legacy that you want to leave on the world as a very, very prominent philosopher.
That's a very interesting question, and no one has ever asked me that. I really hope that I'm remembered as an inspiring liberal conservative. I hope that my thoughts and ideas are regarded as some of the most profound regarding human rights, and that I'm remembered for many years as to come and study in schools, because I believe that I'm the most philosophical man to date.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burke. I've loved getting to know you.
Thank you, Mr. Bartender. Here's a 4 shilling tip for your great service.
Thank you, sir.